Welcome to the new place. Just moved in, just got my thing, so not everything's totally put together, so excuse the fact that I just kind of look like a serial killer in here. This video is brought to you by Storyblocks. Today we're getting educational. We're talking about how do you film a proper action sequence. Movies, shows, documentaries, commercials are all comprised of these scenes, and these scenes are all comprised of these little pieced together sequences. And there's no better way of teaching than by doing, so I went to the local track with my buddy Luke O'Brien yesterday in absolute freezing cold, and we put together a really super simple 8-shot running sequence to demonstrate for you all. But first, before you go out and shoot, you need to have a plan. You wanna consider what is the action that you're trying to accomplish in your sequence. How are you getting from point A to point B, and what is point A and point B? So for my sequence, for the purpose of demonstrating, I just wanted Luke to be in the midst of this running workout where he runs 200-meter reps along the track. Point A is going to be getting ready to run his 200-meter rep, and point B is going to be finishing that 200-meter rep and maybe getting ready for the next rep. Now that I have point A and point B, we can sit here and spitball some ideas, some things that would happen along the way in sequence to get Luke from point A starting out to finishing point B. You know, maybe Luke wipes the snot off his nose because it's cold and he's working out and he's got a snotty nose. Maybe he's shaking out the legs, kicking out the arms, warming up, getting ready. Then Luke walks up to the starting line. He takes off, he's running, getting up the pace. Then in the final stretch, Luke is determined, pushing, hammering those arms down, trying to get to the final finish. He crosses the finish line, coasts, throttles down, allows himself to catch his breath, because he's got to get back to that line to start the new rep. Once I had all my ideas of the shots that I wanted to shoot within this sequence, I needed to know how I was going to put a cinematic twist, make this visually appealing to tell my story of this little sequence by deciding on what shot size I was going to use for each of these shots. And by shot size, I'm talking tights, mediums, wides. Tights are going to show your character's emotion, the details. The mediums are going to move your sequence along. The wides are going to establish your environment and your character within. And the great news is there's no exact way to organize these. It just depends on how you want to tell your story, and you'll get a better sense of that storytelling when you go out and do this continuously. So my first shot here, getting ready for the rep. I went with Luke kicking out his legs, giving me hopping up and downs. Then Luke settles up into the line all in one take. Decided to go tight here, wanted to right off the bat show you the details, show you what is all about to happen, the running shoes, the track. If I was shooting commercial, this would be a great opportunity to just establish what the product is right away. Maybe if there's a New Balance running shoot, this is him showing his shoes. Right away, you know what's about to go down. I don't think anyone saw this first shot and was confused about what was going on. Right away, you knew someone was about to run on a track. My second shot, we introduce our hero, Luke, catching his breath before he takes that last breath and pushes out for the start of his rep. You see Luke's face, you can kind of see the discomfort he's in, but at the same time, you know he's ready to take on the challenge. And you get all that by the emotion that's on his face demonstrated in a tight. Then third shot, this high, medium to wide shot looking down at Luke as he pushes out onto the track. And I wanted to get creative here, show Luke pushing out, but also show that he's kind of a victim of the workout, a victim of the track at the beginning. It seems like this daunting task that he's about to take on at this very beginning, making him feel smaller on the track. A lot of times when you're shooting down, you're making your subject feel inferior versus when you're looking up at your character, making them feel superior. So that cuts to our tracking fourth shot, which is Luke moving around. We see his full body, we see the landscape around him, we see him progressing through the workout, getting into this groove and finding his pace. And then that shot cuts into this tight of Luke coming down the final 100 meters, the final stretch of this 200-meter workout. We can see the determination, grit on his face. He's pushing hard. We hear his breathing. We know he's determined to get to the end. Then our next shot is a medium. Luke crosses that line, and we cut to a tight filing shot. Luke turning around. Maybe, maybe he can't do another rep, but no, he turns around. He catches his breath. He gets back on that line. You see the determination on his face, and it's time to go. That very last rep is about to happen. Now, if you put all that together, looks pretty cool. So check this out. Looks pretty cool. Looks like a little sequence that could have been in a commercial or like a documentary. Wanted to, keep it really simple for the purpose of demonstration. Didn't take much to, plan out. Didn't take much to shoot. There's obviously a lot of things that you need to keep in mind when you're putting together these sequences that are going to make it flow as smoothly as you just saw. And luckily for you, I made a nice list for you to keep in mind. But before I hit that list, there's no better time in this video to thank today's sponsor, who is Storyblocks. Let's say you put together this perfect sequence. You're stoked on it. You put it in your scenes for your commercial. You finish that commercial, you send it off to your client, expecting great feedback, and your client comes back with a, it's really great. I just really wish that we had one more establishing wide shot of just the track without the character. Really just wanted to see track. And you're thinking to yourself like, ugh, crap. How am I just gonna go out and shoot that? I don't have the time, energy, budget to go and do such a task. But luckily for me, I have Storyblocks, where if that situation were to arise, I can quick go on the Storyblocks, type in track drone shot or track wide into the search bar, and I will get plenty of awesome options that I can download and pop into that edit, send it off to the client, boom, they're happy. Storyblocks has an ever-growing library of demand-driven 4K footage, After Effects and Premiere templates, and so much more high-quality assets to help any video creator's projects get to that next level. And the best part is with the unlimited access plan, which is what I have, you get unlimited royalty-free downloads, which is so helpful in testing assets that best fit your project. Storyblocks has saved me time and time again on so many client projects. For an affordable price, it's definitely worth having within your filmmaking arsenal. So if you're interested and want to check out Storyblocks, there's a link in my description below. So first thing you want to consider is the direction that your sequence is moving. Shot by shot is the direction of the movement, of the camera movement, of the character's movement, all in a continuous motion in the same direction. Filming inside a track obviously you run it in counterclockwise. So the whole time I'm filming Luke going from right to left. Here, even at the beginning, Luke walks up, right to left. He takes off, right to left, right to left. He's running right to left. Next thing you want to consider is focal point continuity. So what do I mean by that? Here, when the clip cuts, you're looking at Luke's foot up here. It cuts, Luke's eye then appears right there. So the person's eyes viewing this isn't looking all over the frame, trying to find where you're trying to match. So here, we'll keep the mouse there. Cuts. Right where his eyes are on the cut, you get right where Luke is starting that run. So this whole thing's not perfect, but try to keep in mind that there's all these like subconscious elements of video editing that people use to keep the viewer engaged, not wearing your viewer out where they're watching something just like constantly trying to scan for where you want them to look. keep it easy for your viewer to keep their eyes on your subject. Next thing is all the lighting in this is consistent. It was all shot within the same 2 hours, but it looks like it was all shot within the same 30 seconds of this run, right? All the shots are shooting shadow side, slightly backlit. All the lighting feels congruent. Next thing here is I'm not jump cutting. Jump cutting is certainly a method that you can use maybe if you're shooting like more of a montage-y scene. Whenever I'm cutting, I'm changing the type of shot. I'm never cutting from a medium to a medium. I'm always cutting from a medium to a tight to a wide. So say I take this medium shot of Luke pacing himself around the curve of the track. Say I just kept this but cut this shot, try to jump cut it. Boom, it looks like Luke teleports and it looks super unnatural, not really the vibe that we're going for. So, I mean, he goes from on the turn to on the straightaway right away. So he's definitely skipping a piece of that running, but it looks natural because we're changing shot size. Next thing you want to consider is the continuity of the actual person, the subject, from shot to shot. So as Luke's arm is coming up, his left arm is coming up. In the next shot, his left arm is already up and then it comes down. You know, it's not cutting from Luke's left arm being up to all of a sudden now his right arm's up and it looks like a jump time. So again, that's a little jump cut issue type situation. Next little tip is just to add some sound design to keep it consistent. Make sure there's sounds that blend from each scene to the next. Maybe start the sound before the actual cut happens to make the cut less jarring. Even before he takes off, you hear the sound of his foot leaving the track, and that blends into the next shot where you see his feet taking off, and that helps alleviate the abruptness of the cut. Yeah, and that's all I have for you today. Really take the time to master what it takes to make a sequence seem flawless, because when you master that, you can take those little sequences, build out incredible scenes, take those incredible scenes and build out incredible projects. So if there's any questions that I didn't cover, please leave them in the comments below. Thank you again, Storyblocks, for sponsoring this video. Check them out on the link below, and thanks for watching. I love you.